Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a spotlight on Maplelea's Pacific Coast girl, Charlsea, who's right here beside me. She's the newest girl, so she has the smallest collection, and I don't have all of her collection, which means this is going to be the fastest video of all the Maplelea spotlights, except because it's going to be so quick, at the end, I'm going to do a little catch up on the last 5 girls I did. She's the 6th in the series. There are only 7 dolls, named characters. And so at the end of showing you all of Charlsea's collection that I have, I'm going to show you any of the retired items I've since collected for the first 5 girls I did in the series. That would be Leoni, Jenna, Brienne, Taran, and Sila. But to be clear, it's only the retired items that I've since collected, and none of the new releases, which I would have already shared in other unboxing videos or future unboxing videos. Before I get to that, I'll cover the same things that I have in the other spotlight videos. I'll talk about the doll, her journal. I'll give any inside scoop that Catherine, the president and creator of the company, might have shared with me, because she has shared a little bit, not as much as it's like Sila, for example, but a few nice little tidbits that I think some people will find fun. And since her collection, especially my share of it, is so small, I'll of course show each outfit, there are only 8 I think, on a Maplelea doll and an American Girl doll. I'll bring out a pair of outfits at a time, one on each, so American Girl and a Maplelea doll, and then I'll switch them. So to me, that's going to be the most efficient way of doing this video, because these can take a really long time, not just for you to watch, but for me to to cut and edit and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit swifter to get through. Okay, I think that was enough to get us started. So let me jump in by sharing Charlsea's nameplate. This is what would come around the box when you buy the doll, and they're all kind of branded to the character. So this one would show you things that have to do with her island lifestyle, and her name is written in her favorite color, which is yellow specifically. But maybe I just like to think of it as chartreuse, because that's a yellowy green, and chartreuse and Charlsea kind of sound like they go together. And I think that's why in my brain, her favorite color is chartreuse. But you shouldn't listen to me on that. It's actually yellow. And the journal I have for her, this is one of the newer journals. And so they used to be softer plastic with a flower sort of button that you would wrap an elastic around. And now they're in a faux leather hard cover journal and a magnetic closure on the front. And I've already mentioned that she is from our Pacific coast, from Salt Spring Island. Let me just double check Salt Spring Island, because I always want to call it something else. And for those of you who don't know, that's in British Columbia. And when I say it's our Pacific coast, it's actually surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, and that's why I'm saying that. So I've visited now. I haven't been to Salt Spring Island, but I've been to Vancouver, their main city. And the weather there is, at least by reputation, it's a lot better than where I live in Toronto, for example. They have the mountains and the water, so even their winters, and maybe this is just a rumor, and it's not actually true, I've never been there during winter, is that they have milder weather all year round, basically. And the thing about Salt Spring Island, where Charlsea lives, is it's sort of, from what I understand, it was built from hippies. So in the story, Charlsea's journal, it does say that her grandparents were hippies, and so her style is based around that. As you can see probably by looking at her, the mix and match of patterns that should not go together, but she likes it together. And some of you have mentioned that you would compare her style to Punky Brewster, and I see it too. And when I said that to Catherine, she got really excited, because she said that's exactly what she sees for Charlsea as well. And the doll, I've already mentioned that she's the newest one, and that's why her collection is so far the smallest. She came out in 2015, and I want to say it before I forget that she was introduced into Maplelea through Taran, because Charlsea's parents are film producers, and they went to the Banff Film Festival. I'm looking for the page to show you, because it does say it. And that's how Charlsea met Taran, was when she was there for the film festival, finally. So if you look here, there is Charlsea meeting Taran and talking about it in her journal. Because all the new girls, the 3 who've been introduced since the first 4, have been brought in by one of the 4 core character girls. And like the 4 core character girls, who are all around 10 or 11 years old, Charlsea is 11, and her full name is Charlsea Victoria Woodhouse. She has a sister. Here's her family photos if you want to see. So this would be her family. And here's the hippie grandparents that I spoke about already. And I don't want to go too much into what you could already read in the journal yourself, because it's not about spoilers, but I'm not going to sit here and read the whole journal. But there are a couple things I did want to point out that I find very interesting. So this journal would have been, I don't think that the journal's been updated since they've released things that are in the journal. So for example, her pets here, I don't think they were released with the launch. They could have been, but there are other things in here that have come out after the launch, like her kayak and perhaps the animals and things like that I mentioned. And then there are other pieces in the journal that I would love to see get made into like a playset one day, to be specific. And I want to show you a picture of it again. I should have put little post-it notes or something. I only have one spotlight left, so I have to try to remember that for future, that last one. So if you look on this page of the journal, it talks about farm stands. I'm not really pointing at it properly, but over here. So this is a thing that Catherine explained to me that happens in Salt Spring Island, where people who live there, they farm their own vegetables, and then they'll have these set up on their driveways with homemade goods, whether it be grown vegetables. I think she mentions different kind of baked goods and stuff like that. And they used to be set out on their driveways, and it would be like an honor system. So there'd be a sort of cup for people to put the money in. They would have little price tags. They would take what they saw and put in the right amount of money. And it's only been for the last maybe few years that they can no longer do that, because, honor systems only go on until, as long as people are willing to honor them. And people, I guess, we're always getting less and less honest. It's human nature. So nowadays, they're not just out there on the honor system. There's somebody monitoring and making sure that people aren't just, taking stuff. Even though it's probably really nice, because like I said, it was built on sort of a hippie commune by the sounds of it. But I just think that would be a really fun play set if there's any way Maplelea could get these kind of things produced, because it is a lot of, well, I don't know what kind of materials they need for the actual stand, but let me know what you think, if you would find that a fun item for them to make, because I've seen on social media that people do build their own farm stands for Charlsea. So I think there's a little bit of a demand, and now it makes me wonder if they ever would, because like I said, there are other things in here that have since been produced, like her chickens are mentioned, and these are not out yet. I was hoping to unbox them or share them in this video, but it's not on. I don't want to sit around waiting for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks to do this video, because I'm already late to do it. And one thing that I found funny about when people have talked about her chickens, their names are Fraser, Stina, and Columbia. They think that they're boy names. I don't really think of those, because they're obviously female chickens, and I don't think of them as boy names necessarily. Columbia, I don't know a boy name would be named Columbia or Stina. But the reason they're named that, and it's probably going to say this in the playset when it arrives, is they're named after the 3 longest rivers in BC. So that's why they have those names. So all her pets have reasons for the names. Like the Empress, which is her goat, is named after the hotel chain. It's like a big fancy hotel. I think it was by Fairmont. And then Cam and Loops are obviously named after Kamloops, which, funnily enough, is where Catherine is actually from. Charlsea obviously is not from Kamloops, and Catherine didn't write the journal, I don't think. So she didn't come up with the name of Cam and Loops, at least that's not what I don't think that's what she said. So it's just to know that there is a little bit of a nod to Catherine, but I don't know if it's on purpose. And other things, when I go through it, I like to point out things that Catherine shares, like when the real photos include her family. And in this picture, there's like a car show. I believe her husband and her son are somewhere in this picture, but it's very small. So I can't make out who's who, but I think, yeah, the one in the cowboy hat might be her husband, but I might be wrong. I have a 50-50 chance. So anyway, I think that's all I need to say about the journal. And the rest the journal, some parts of it may come up later just because of some of her accessories and outfits and things like that. I think so there's this cookie stand here, and I think Catherine said that's based on when she went to visit the Salt Spring Island. I hope I'm saying that right. I believe that she saw these 2 girls with a cookie stand, and then I maybe gave them a little bit of an interview, and then she said it was going to go in the next Maplelea doll journal, and they got really excited because they collect Maplelea as well. And if it's not the story that has happened, but I do think this is the story here in which these little girls who have been drawn have been immortalized, and they were actual Maplelea collectors. Like I said, 2015, 10 years ago now. Okay, one more thing. There talks here about, so you see this here, it says that Charlsea talks about being a host family. And from what I remember, a host family is someone, because the thing about Salt Spring Island is not everybody who lives there works there. So there's a lot of commuting. And so people are on and off the island. I think I'm mixing up two stories, but one of the things is that so everybody has a sort of a mainland family that they'll stay with if they're ever commuting into the main part of the province and can't get back because there's a ferry going back and forth and there could be weather that gets, adverse weather conditions, and so they can't always get back. So they would have a family that they would stay with, in those emergency situations. And I believe this is talking about something else where host family, yeah, they love it when people come to visit us too. So they take in visiting. So yeah, I was mixing up the two memories, but at least I got to tell you that story because I would have forgotten otherwise. What Charlsea means by being a host family is that they have visiting musicians who come to Salt Spring when they do tours. And these musicians, they are going from house to house to perform, to do the tour. And Catherine was telling me a story about how she went to one of these house concerts. And it's people performing like in the kitchen or the living room, musicians like you see in this picture here. And the house would just be full of people. You could be upstairs in the rooms. You could be anywhere in the house as these musicians are playing for everybody who's coming to visit. What a different place. That could not happen in Toronto, I don't think. It'd be a different kind of house party if it happened in Toronto. And I really didn't expect to talk about the journal that much, but I guess her story is interesting enough that it kept making me think of things. Because the most exciting thing for me to talk about, of course, is the doll and the clothes. And there are a couple things I have to say about my Charlsea here. So she's wearing her complete starter outfit with her accessory pack. So her accessory pack would be the jacket and the backpack, which I think is called the mixed bag accessory set. But I don't know if you could see from there, but my Charlsea has a yellow headband on top of her head. So let me bring it up close so that you can see what I'm talking about. Like I said, all these hippie, punky brewster kind of vibes. So if you see this yellow headband, it's actually quite a fluke that I have this. Quite a while back, I bought a lot of Alexi outfits, and this was in with one of the outfits that was missing its pants. So the seller included yellow pants instead of red ones. And I think because of that, she thought the yellow headband went with it. And I just thought, I can't figure out what Alexi outfit this goes with. And I never would have thought it went with Charlsea because it no longer goes with Charlsea. What happened was when they first made Charlsea, Maplelea had 5,000 of the headbands produced. And I think the factory no longer made them by the time they ran out of them, or they just thought it wasn't necessary to keep producing headbands. So only the first 5,000 Charlseas came with the headband. And so the journal that I showed you is a newer journal because my Charlsea didn't come with the headband. And so the stock photo that they use any photos they use of the doll in my journal, she doesn't have the headband. But when Catherine was showing me her journal, the original journal, the pictures of the doll had the headband. So yeah, if you come across this headband or if you have the headband, try not to lose it because they'll be collectible in a way that they, first of all, only made 5,000. And second of all, who knows how many would have gotten lost or broken over the years because 10 years ago now, and kids tend to lose and break things like that. The accessory set, it only retired, I think I was just getting into collecting Maplelea when it was still in store, but it's not available now. I just recently, I wasn't even looking for it because I already had the jacket, but somebody very recently was selling both pieces together. So now I have two of the jackets, mainly because I wanted to get the backpack, not just to have, but to share. I like to use that excuse a lot, that, I'm going to make a video, so let me just buy this because I need it for the video, not for me because I'm so greedy. So let me bring it back, because another thing I want to explain about Charlsea is in her journal, she describes her eye color as ocean blue. I think Pacific Ocean blue specifically. So I think her eye color is unique. Mine, see, I have maybe one other doll who has what I would call a purplish blue eye color. And that doll's eyes are a lot more purple than Charlsea's. But I do think Charlsea's eyes can range a little bit because at least in pictures, I've seen her eyes look a lot of a deeper blue and not blue like any of the other blue-eyed Maplelea dolls I have. So I think they tried to get a very ocean blue color for her. And as for this starter outfit, boy, is it crazy. Like I already mentioned, Punky Brewster, hippies, it's all there. And so the thing about her outfit is it comes with these really colorful, I don't know what kind of pattern you call this for the stockings. She's got rain boots, probably because she's on an island, short shorts, a tie-dye shirt, and this blue and yellow jacket with a yellow headband, and there's more pattern in her backpack. And so now I am going to start talking about her other outfits, but one thing I want to show first are these shoes. They're called her Yoho trainers. And I don't know what they were meant to go with. She doesn't have an outfit that suits them really perfectly, but I do think when you have the backpack and everything, it has all the colors of her starter outfit with the accessory set. So let me show them to you because I'm going to change her boots. And I don't like rubber. I don't like having my dolls in rubber boots. I just don't like the way it looks. And I understand that it's part of her character, so it's forgivable. But I'm always putting something else on her. And so now I want to put her in these Yoho trainers. I did try them on. They don't look as good as I hoped, but I just want to have them on her for the sake of, one, not having her in rubber boots, and two, there's no other outfit that really goes with these. And so if these look crazy with this, imagine how they look with a regular outfit. And one thing to tell you about Yoho, they're named after Yoho National Park. I've been there, and it's sort of on the border of Alberta and BC, British Columbia. And that's why I was able to visit, because when I was in the Rockies, visiting the Rockies a couple months ago now, I was able to drive over because it was right on the border. And it was really cool. One of the cool things about Yoho was that there was this waterfall. So she's got, in her story, her pages for these shoes, it says that she got them to go climb the Rockies. And I'm assuming the Rockies in Yoho because they're called Yoho trainers. And there was this really steep sort of rock cliff up a waterfall in Yoho National Park. And so that's why I'm really glad I have these shoes now, because I feel like I could have had Yoho trainers when I climbed that steep rock cliff. The rubber boots were more subtle, weren't they? But like I said, I'm not crazy about rubber boots, and I think it has to be intended for this outfit because it's literally got every color from this outfit, which is pretty much every color of the rainbow, inside the shoes. So I can't help but think this is what they had intended, because the only stock photo I could find, she's wearing an any doll outfit, not one of her own. So it's like, yep, see, they admit this is the only thing that it matches. And I feel like because I know I don't have many outfits to share, I'm moving really slowly. So let me move on to the outfits now. I'm going to start with one that has just come out only recently. It's called the Blue Moon Overall set, and I've got it paired with her Bee Runners. In the stock photos, they have it paired with another pair of boots that I like for another one of Charlsie's outfits. So you will see them later on. One note to make about these sneakers right here is they come with two sets of laces. She's got the blue ones on because I prefer that over the pink. And so it does come with a pair of pink laces that you can either do one pink, one blue, or double them up, have both on at once. And another thing to note is in the stock photos, they have these pants rolled up, but I really like how they look when they're all bunched down at the bottom. It's just I just think it looks cuter. But aside from that, there's a lot of embroidery on the outfit. Both the shoes are embroidered. So if you look here, all the picture you're seeing on the running shoes, it's all embroidered. And then they're just sort of like a pair of Converse. And then if you come down here, all the flowers and all those details are embroidered as well. And the one thing I love an outfit being an outfit. I don't love to mix and match a lot, but this is one time that I actually prefer to mix and match because this shirt has such nice detail that really gets hidden behind the overalls themselves. So I have another shirt. It's not a Charlsea shirt, so I won't bother showing it right now, that I put with these overalls. And because look, you miss that the way it comes out. Like this looks really good with just a pair of regular jeans or a skirt. See, because it's just got nice detail that you totally miss. And the funny thing about this, you would have seen if you saw my unboxing, is that it doesn't have any openings. You just put it on like a pair of shorts, basically. You pull it up over her body, and that's how you get it on. And it does not feel like how you're supposed to dress your dolls, but it is. And since Charlsea is the cover girl of this year's catalog, I can show you this outfit and how, like what I mentioned, that they roll up the pants and they pair it with a different set of boots, a different set of footwear. Those are also the chickens that I mentioned, the chicken set that has been up for pre-order, but it is not out yet, so I don't have it to share. Next up, we have Charlsie's pajamas, which are called the Sea Otter sleepwear set. And the interesting thing to note about the doll's pajamas in general, so this is KC7 when you look up the number for the item itself. So K stands for Catherine, the owner. C stands for Charlsea because it's Charlsie's set, and so 7, so like the 7th item in Charlsie's collection. And something I didn't know until recently is that, so for example, in the core girls, 7 will be one of their sleepwear sets, so their first sleepwear set. So if you have KA for Alexi, KA7 is going to be her pajamas set. At least one of them, because she has two and some of the girls do. So that's just something I've wanted to mention, that sometimes the numbers, you'll see that they don't go in sequence when they're released, because certain numbers are reserved for certain items, be it pets or sleepwear or anything like that. So that's why this is KC7, because it's her sleepwear. And it consists of really soft pair of slippers down here that are elastic on the back, and it's just like all the other pajamas where they're really soft. And I only just opened this now to do the video, and it's really comfy. It's really nice. It comes with this cute little starfish as a plush for, well, Charlsea would really be holding it because it's hers, but I put it on my KMF 68 doll, and this is a CYO in case you didn't know and you were curious. So I think I've shown you enough of them as they are. So let me swap them so that you can see the difference of how they fit, put them together, so you can have one last mental note and see how they fit on the reverse dolls. There was nothing too noteworthy about the way they fit as I was dressing them. It's just, so it really comes down to what you prefer aesthetically for you, or maybe like both. I like both, so I'll show you the Bloomin' Overall set. Like I said, it's new, so it's of course still available. And these are called the Bee Buzz Runners. I think I just called them the bee shoes, and I leave it at that. But so everything I've got up on screen right now, with the two outfits, I mean, not her meat accessories, are still available. And do I need to say anything about this? She obviously doesn't have a gripping hand, so if you want her to have an American Girl doll to have the plush, you just tuck it under her arm. But yeah, slippers fit nice, especially if I put the elastic correctly. Everything looks cute. And another thing to note about these two particular outfits is they show the neckline, so that's just something you have to keep in mind. It doesn't bother me as much on the pajamas as I thought it would, because I think that's why I didn't have them for the longest time. But then, like I said, I had to buy them to show you. Not for me, it's for you. And so they actually do really look cute once they're on. It doesn't bother me, as, like I said, as much as it would. Usually I really hate seeing it, especially on pajamas, because I don't want to put a shirt or anything underneath, right? So yeah, that's enough. I can put these behind me so that you can still see them, and I will move on to the next two outfits. The next two outfits are both retired, unfortunately, because they're both amazing. One is recently retired, and I know a lot of people are after it and probably really regret missing it by just that much, you know what I mean? But the outfit I'm going to show first has been retired for quite a while. I didn't even think it was still in the store when I collected it. If it wasn't, I just didn't notice it. And keep in mind, it's a little bit zhuzhed up, and I'll explain what I've added to it, because I tried it on this doll for the first time last night, and she's keeping it. So this is called My Cup of Tea, and it is being modeled by Princess, my KMF 54 doll. She's new. And the things that I added to it are this basket of flowers, the flower in her hair, and these white ruffle socks. Let me take out the flowers because she's going to drop them. So it comes with the dress, these really nice shoes, these metallic blue T-strap shoes, and this actually really nice and sparkly, I hope the camera will pick it up, this bracelet with a big pearl on it. But anyway, let me show you, because look at these shoes. Aren't they so cute? I think if any, I didn't like them without socks, and I like the way the ruffle socks complete it, so that's why I never had any intention of a doll wearing it without these. The dress looks kind of simple at first, but the bow detailing and the fabric is really nice and really unique. And again, like I don't think it's going to pick it up though. I'm looking at the monitor. And if you see between the pink beads, there are these silver beads that are lined with somehow really sparkly rhinestones. They sparkle, honestly, like Swarovski, but I think they're probably just Rivoli, like, you know how they are deeper inside the bead. That's the only thing I can think of to explain how they might possibly be so shiny. But yeah, I had her in what I thought was her perfect dress, and then I tried this on, and oh yeah, this is a keeper for Princess. Even though I thought she didn't like pink, pink likes her. But then this is the unfortunately pretty recently retired Grand Connections outfit. And I know it was, I feel like once it went to Last Chance, it sold out pretty quickly, because I didn't even notice it was in there. It doesn't come with these boots. So these are the Golden Hour boots that are in the stock photos, usually paired with the Bloomin' Overalls set, which is right behind me now. These also came with an outfit, Gulf Island Stylin', which I tried so hard to track down for this video. Not just, and this is definitely more of a selfish thing. Like even I know it's I think it might be my favorite Charlsea outfit, but it's just because of the colors, and maybe one day I'll have it and I'll show it in an unboxing, but I couldn't get it. And that outfit came with these boots originally. But what this outfit does come with, so I'm just showing you how the boots, they bring the colors together really nicely, because it's a really vivid, all the colors are very vivid. So if it's looking really bright on your screen, that probably is the case. So it's a sweater, a really bright green, t-shirt underneath, denim skirt with some rick-rack detailing going along the bottom. It's really, really nice. So I can see why it's one of those outfits that people would really like to track down. And the one funny thing, because I'm using Cecile to model it because of her eyes, I thought it might look really good on her. But she has loose strings. I think just, I don't know. I opened her new from box and she just had loose strings. So I can't get her arms to stay down. But I've had this on other American Girl dolls and they didn't shoot their arms out like they're bundled up for winter. I think that's all I need to say about the outfit. Oh, and so this has a picture. Usually this was paired with her Empress and Cam Loops pets, and then they're pictured on the outfit. But some of you may already have seen that because she has a chicken set now, she does have a sweater coming out maybe next year that has chickens on it instead. So that'll just have to be the next best thing to having this outfit. Now, let me swap them to see which one you like better. I much prefer My Cup of Tea on Maplelea, and not just because I fell in love with it on Princess here. There are a couple things I'll point out. It's mostly with the shoes on the American Girl body. But first, let me show you Grand Connections on Maplelea. One thing to note is that the shoes, of course, the boots go on a lot more easily over these tights. I didn't want to say anything at the time until I had a chance to look, but I had so much trouble. I'm not even showing it at all. I had so much trouble getting the boots on Cecile over here that when it finally like burst up, I was like, did I just bust the seams at the toe of the tights? I didn't, they were fine, but it was so much struggle. And it's not to say that you can't do it. It's just a little note to make, because I have worn this outfit on other dolls before, on other American Girls, but I'm not sure if I did it with boots or if I might have even done, I put them on with Claudie's meat shoes because it just brought the colors together for me. And I like the idea of a Mary Jane, but I didn't have any for this outfit. And I think those are perfect too. But anyway, on to My Cup of Tea on American Girl. And I really do want to focus on this. First, I quickly say that the bracelet spreads so much on there because their wrist is thicker that there are now gaps inside between the beads. It's not too noticeable. I guess I'm just being really picky. I'm trying to be picky so you have these things to look out for. It's the shoes though, and I knew it would be a problem. It's just a little bit worse than I expected. So the thing to note, so with the sock, I did one sock on, one sock off. You see how the strap gets all bunched up because the foot isn't long enough. It's a short, squat foot. And then I did the other shoe without a sock underneath to show the difference. And it does fit better, except you can see all of her toes because her foot's not long enough and it's too wide. So I would say this is something I much prefer on Maplelea. Yeah, they just look nicer, and the shoes are the big attraction for me with this outfit. So that's why the dress looks fine, of course. I mean, what I like about the style of dress that Maplelea does is they hit all the spots they need to cover the weird bodies that these 18-inch dolls have. So it goes right to the end of the socket and it covers all the neck that you need it to. So in that sense, it's nice. Shoes, I would suggest sticking with Maplelea. Of course, Charlsea, being an island girl, she has a bathing suit. And one thing to note about the bathing suits, as I mentioned before, this falls under the number of KC9. So the bathing suits in the girls' collections are always the 9th number, at least the first one that they would come out with. With Charlsea, on the other hand, her bathing suit came with sort of 2 suits. So it's this one bathing suit, and ignore the life jacket and water shoes. I'll explain that in a minute. So this is the bathing suit part of the West Coast waterwear. And she also they came together, the wetsuit that was paired with it. So you got both in the set, and they're both still available. The life jacket and snowshoes, water shoes are separate pieces that aren't even part of Charlsea's collection. But since they were always shown with the wetsuit and bathing suit, I do include them in her collection. And that's why I'm showing them to you, because there are 2 different ones. I do have 2 of these because I have more swimwear for my Maplelea summer collection. But I recently found the pink set, which is what she was shown with originally when the 2-pack came out. And so you see the difference is that this is a bit more, I don't know if what do you call it? Gender neutral. So let me just show you the bathing suit with this up close. This is on an American Girl. So as you can see, you can see some of the sockets. It's just something to point out. It goes on over one shoulder, covered perfectly. This one, it's pretty close to being perfect, but this strap there's a snap button, like a plastic snap on the back. So it is easier to put on than it probably looks like. And then, like I said, these would come together as one set, just like the pink and gray and blue. It's just very colorful, and that's part of the reason why it looks like it goes with Charlsie's collection. And so I'm just showing you the difference, and I have this life jacket buttoned up so I can undo it just to show you how, if you want to see the details underneath, this is how it goes. And so there's another piece that does make her bathing suit more special than the other girls. And I mentioned it when I was talking about her journal, how she has sort of play sets or things that are shown in her journal that did eventually, or maybe right away, come out for her collection. And that's her kayak, which is going to take up a lot of room, but I'll do my best. So it comes with this paddle or oar, maybe it's what it's called. And it's got a very interesting design that I'll get to when I put her in it. And it comes with this little water bottle. So these are the pieces that you get when you buy her kayak. But it also comes with a little, instead of journal pages, because everything that you buy, you may already know this, I don't think I mentioned it, comes with journal pages. But her kayak comes with an actual journal booklet. So it's a few pages. So what I do is I put any journal pages I get, and I put in the back of each girl's book. And this one was KC11. So the kayak is KC11. And then all these pages are what came with the kayak. So there's a bit more of a story involved. I'm just, instead of showing you all the pages, I'm just trying to give you a little idea of how much is involved, or how much is included in her kayak pages. I'll put the American Girl in a second too, but first I want to show you my KMF3. And so it goes all the way up to nope, that would be the back, I think. Yes. Obviously I'm not a kayaker. So yeah, I guess it's wider in the back for their bums, for the little butts to fit inside, and their legs splay all the way out. And then the fun thing about the paddle, or O-A-R, not or. So you see here, it's smaller. There's like, the pole goes tight, like skinnier in here than it is out here. And that's because they can hold they have one tighter grip hand, the Maplelea dolls. And so this slides into her hand. She's got some double-sided tape because she's holding something usually. So she doesn't need it, but I'm just letting you know that if it sits there so perfectly, that's part of the reason why. And so that's the fun thing about this set, is when you're putting a Maplelea doll in there, they can hold on to the oar. And I'll show you the struggle that, I don't know if struggle is the right word, but I'll show you how it's not quite as of a perfect fit with an American Girl doll. It's not a problem getting the doll into the actual kayak. It's just that she doesn't have the same, like she isn't their own problem, but she doesn't have the same means of holding on to the oar. She probably would need some double-sided tape if you wanted to have your doll holding this. But what I've done is I just kind of rest her hands over it, and just, it's just not as much fun, but it still works. Like if you really wanted the kayak and to have an American Girl displayed with it, it's not a problem at all. It's just wanted to show you the difference in case any of these, because this is still available, and when I'm showing these things, it may make you curious. And even though they're just bathing suits, I am still going to swap them, because this wetsuit covers more of the body, as you can see. So it's a very different, it's not just a different fit, it's different what you have to do to make it fit their body because of the difference in the limbs and everything like that. The most important thing to point out with the wetsuit on an American Girl body is because of their legs are longer, you just have to sort of figure out what you like, of how you want to position it to get it, just pulled up to the right spots. It's probably not even that serious. I'm just, again, trying to think of the things that may help you make a decision if you see anything you like on here, because I think I said that these are still available, and if I didn't, they are. And the fun thing about the wetsuit is it's a zipper on the back. So they're just, a lot of details about it. It's got, as you can see, and I don't really need to put this life jacket back on, but sure, complete the look, right? Because the last thing I want to do with these two girls before I get them out of here, or put them behind me, is Charlsea also has a lot of quirky type of socks. Sometimes I think it's even called quirky socks. This pair here is from the Tale of, I think it's Sock Tales or Tale of Seven Socks that you could buy on the site now. That's all the 7 girls. But then she's also had a couple of sets that I have. This only one set, and it came with child size socks that I don't think I kept, so I can't even show them to you if I wanted to. But I'll just show you the difference, even though it's like so silly, because they're just socks, and they're going to look fine on both dolls. But we've come this far, right? And like I said, she only has 8 outfits, so I've only got 2 more to show after this. And I'm saying I only have 8 of her outfits, but the truth is I only have 7, because these 2 are technically the same outfit. So just to show you how, an example, so sometimes, I haven't said it yet in this video, but I say it all the time, is that sometimes things fit on American Girl even better than they do on Maplelea. So if you look at the socks, this particular pair. So this is one of the quirky sock set. This is the Maplelea foot, and this is the American Girl foot. So it's a little bit baggier on the Maplelea doll. Maybe I've had them on American Girls and they've stretched it out. Who knows? Let's see with her next pair, because I haven't tried those on anyone. The pair from the set. Let's see if this has a difference to it, because this is my first time putting it on anyone. Yeah, it still looks a little baggy. I'm not saying that a problem because we're going to put shoes on it anyway. I'm just letting you know that these wide duck feet might actually look a little bit better with the sock. And these are cute socks. So I don't know if you can make out the theme, but it's beachy, islandy, and I was going to say the sunrise sets, but I think it's sunrise and sunset. So anyway, that's a difference between American Girl and Maplelea for that one. And only one set left, or one pair left, so we've come this far, like I already said a minute ago. Like only 8 outfits, okay? Until I must have had these on American Girls and they've just stretched them out, because there's no way they would have fit a Maplelea foot like this originally. Anyway, that was a little bit of fun with socks. So now let me get to the final 2 outfits before I show you the updates of the outfits for the other girls I've already had spotlights for. I guess the good news about not chasing or tracking down too many of Charlsie's retired outfits is most of what I've shared is still available on the website. Like this next outfit, which is a complete outfit called Veggie Vogue, and this came out only last year, or was it earlier this year? It was either late 2024, it might have been part of that fall release, or even earlier this year, but it might have been earlier this year. So when I say it's complete, it comes with the dress, the sandals, the bag, and the hair tie that you can manipulate into being like a hairband with an actual hairband. So the thing I want to show you on an American Girl is the sandals. So they display nicely, they do fit, but because the sandal has a sort of indent that is the shape of a Maplelea foot, the American Girl foot doesn't fit inside it. So you have to put the straps on the loosest hole in order to get it to fit over their wider foot. And then as you can see, I hope you can see, her foot doesn't fit in, it doesn't slide right into the base of the sandal the way a Maplelea doll foot does, which I will show you after. And what I was saying about the bandana, it's too small to fit around the head. So she always has a hairband on anyway. So I just wrapped it over the hairband, and then the hairband is what's keeping it in place. So as you can see, it ends here. You can't tie it up. But when I had Charlsea wearing it, I use it as a hair tie. So you can do either or. You don't have to do it you don't need a headband in order to manipulate it into being a head cover. You can just have it being as is. And then of course it's a shoulder bag with an American Girl, because they can't hold it the same way a Maplelea doll can. I'm just pointing out all the things to show you when it comes back. Oh, when I switch their outfits, I mean. And I already mentioned that you could still buy it, and I don't think I have anything else to say. It's a really nice dress. It's very light and breezy, and I like to make fun of the fact that they call it Veggie Vogue when it's also got a lot of fruit. I see cucumber and avocado and tomatoes, but I'm just being pompous when I say that. I was that kid in school. A tomato's not a vegetable, it's a fruit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the last outfit I'm going to show of Charlsie's is still available, but it's returned. It was retired for a bit. I think they were trying to figure out, or maybe they were trying to track down the materials, because I think Catherine said it looks the same, just a little bit brighter of a color. So when I said chartreuse, to me is her favorite color. This is the most chartreuse I've ever seen. It is, it's very bright, even in person. It's not just on the screen. So this is called Weekend at Whistler, and I mentioned that she's an island girl, and they had better weather out in the west coast out in BC, British Columbia. Do I ever say British Columbia, by the way? I think I just call it BC and expect everybody to know what that stands for. British Columbia. So even though they have nicer weather, at least as rumor has it, as legend has it, there are still the Rockies out that way. So Whistler is a ski place a ski resort, or mountains. I'm not a skier either, and so that's why it's called Weekend at Whistler. I guess that's the way they could work in it being them, Charlsea having a winter outfit as well. And it's really nice and colorful because it's Charlsea. It comes with the boots, which are suede with little fur inside, the really bright chartreuse pants, the purple fleece toque and mittens, and then this jacket. She's not wearing anything underneath because she's covered. And then it does come with these sunglasses. You can also buy these sunglasses on their own, which means I have 2 pairs because I already bought them as sunglasses. So here's how it looks on Maplelea. Here's how this looks on American Girl. And let me just switch them so you can see the differences. In my opinion, both outfits suit both dolls just perfectly. But one thing I want to say about Veggie Vogue, because it is still available and it's very cute, is that if you buy it for a child, you may want to help them put the outfit, the dress part of the outfit on and take it off, because the way you put it on a doll is there's this really tight, I say tight because the neckline is tight of this outfit. So you pop it open at the Velcro there, and then you pull it up over them like a pair of pants. And it's a pretty tight fit. On American Girl, I felt like it was really tight because their hands are bigger and wider, so they take up more space to get around it when you're already trying to get it over their body. And then with Maplelea, they've got those big old butts. So I really struggled with both dolls in different ways. I was able to do it as an adult, but I'm just saying I could see a kid getting really frustrated or maybe even ruining it. Who knows? That's why I'm saying it's probably just better if you can help them with that if you're a parent and thinking of shopping. You know what I'm saying? So they just put in any little thing like that because I struggled off camera. You didn't get to see it, so you got to hear about it instead. And then I think the only thing I really wanted to point out with this is that the boots, I don't know if you would recommend wearing them that way because they can get ruined. I just realized as I was putting them on her, they undo. And so you can have them done up like this with the little elastic and the button over here, or you can have them roll down. I don't know if it looks really whack or not, but I just wanted to point that out. I don't think there's anything else. I know that Maplelea thinks that the sleeves are a little bit tighter than they would have wanted, particularly for dressing American Girl dolls. I don't have any trouble as an adult trying to dress a doll, or I don't feel like a kid would really get frustrated. Maybe getting the gloves up inside, I don't know. I don't remember if I showed her up close, so I'll do her again if I already have. But here's how Weekend at Whistler looks on American Girl. And I put everything on her as well. So sunglasses, the toque, everything fits really well. The mittens I probably could have gotten a little bit better, but however long this video is, just think it's at least double that for me. So sometimes I get a little lazy. I cut corners. Maybe I didn't show it up close because here's how she can hold the bag. You can go over her shoulder or she can hold the handles. And what I mentioned before about the sandals that her foot slips right in, there's a little like a crevice. It's like to the shape of their foot. So that's why I'm saying after I tightened, because I had tightened the straps for Maplelea, like it's the middle hole for Maplelea and the outside hole for American Girl. And I think that covers everything about this outfit. It's just a few pieces, but it's complete. And so now, as I said, I have managed to track down at least one piece for all the 5 girls I've already done. And I'm going to show you what I've collected in order of how I did their spotlights. And I'm only going to show you each outfit on the doll wearing it because each outfit, maybe because it's new, I have on display and I don't feel like changing them all around because they're all in my display that way. And it's fine. They're all retired and really hard to find anyway, for the most part. So let me start with Leonie's new pieces. I'm going to start with something kind of silly, a little insignificant. It's just a purse. It's the purse for Leonie's starter outfit accessories. So I already had the jacket and I had kind of stolen / borrowed Molly's red purse and hat from one of her starter outfits accessory packs. I think it's from her Be Forever. And then someone noticed that. So they said, hey, I have an extra purse if you want to stop being so chintzy with your Leonie starter outfit. And so here is the purse now. I now have it. And so I'm very grateful to the person who reached out to me. Not embarrassed at all. No, I'm kidding. I'm not embarrassed at all. And so now like I said, I can give Molly back her purse. And sorry, my brain was already wandering because I was thinking of how this is the original Leonie. And so if you're really upset about that, I decided to share her instead of the actual Leonie because Catherine shared a story that was interesting if I understood it correctly. So I think the reason, because she's the only doll who's had an update to her face. And so I think the reason her eyes were so round to begin with, and now they're more oval and they're nicer, they're not so, caught in the headlights kind of look, is because when Catherine started making these dolls, someone told her that in order for the sleepy eyes to work, for them to be able to like close when they lie down, they would have to have big round eyes. And that's why the main 4 core girls also have pretty round eyes. It's because it was to make sure that the mechanisms would work. Another side story, the 4 core girls were based on an actual child model. And I have since seen the modeling picture of that child, and the face really does look like the girl, except for the eyes. The girl doesn't have big round eyes. So I think that's kind of where that was leading from. Some of this is speculation. I'm, taking what Catherine said and kind of running with it, but that's my understanding. And so I gave you a little bit more bonus and bonus content. And now let me show you an outfit that actually is a lot of fun, and it's a full outfit. This outfit over here, which I love, is called La Vie est Belle, Life is Beautiful in English. And it's being modeled by a doll. You won't know yet because I've introduced her in another video, but that video is not completely ready. It's not done. So I'll talk more about her and the making of the doll and who she is when that video comes out. But in the meantime, I can still show you this outfit because this is the outfit that I put her in immediately, and I love it. It's funny because it reminds me a little bit of Ruby Red, because Ruby Red would have, these kind of tulle skirts and these flowery boots. They wouldn't usually have knee-high socks. They'd probably be, tights that came down to about the ankle, and then some kind of frilly shirt. So I don't know how old this outfit is because it's not even on the wiki, but it is so Ruby Red that somebody copied somebody. But I feel like this is so hard to find even pictures of, that it probably is an older outfit. And so Ruby Red must be a coincidence that they like the style of it, and it's just two great minds think alike, doll makers, right? So here, let me show you the outfit up close. The hair clips are from the Maplelea hair care hair accessory set that's no longer available, and I have a couple of them, so I think some of the things I have are doubles, meaning it probably only came with one of these clips. I don't know. So yeah, the gray. At first, when I opened up the lot that I bought from someone, I didn't realize all these pieces went together, because at first glance they don't look like they do. So anyway, this is one of my new girls, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you. If you can figure out what it is, how she looks like this, and who she is, then that's one thing. But otherwise, you'll have to wait for when I introduce her in a video that'll be out, that I'll upload soon anyway. I just need a little bit more to do on it. And the last piece to share from Leonie's additional collection pieces is Piccolo, her bird and bird stand. Now, one thing I want to mention is I had no idea this part was going to be so big. I think I thought the bird stand would be about the size of the bird, and then the bird would be really small. I don't know why. I had never seen it in person. There's no way to gauge. Now you can see it next to a doll in a video. So now you can gauge if you ever come across it. One thing I want to mention, because I've already talked about it so much now in this video, is this is KL25, because 25 is the number that Maplelea has reserved for the pets. So yeah, let me show you how the bird works, because it's kind of funny. He's got these really strong wires in his, they're called feet, claws, whatever. They're not paws. So that's how he sits on this, let me bring it first closer so that I can show you everything and how it is, because it's this whole little habitat that he comes on. If you were to play with the bird, I guess this would be like a feeder up here, a dish of some kind. He could climb these and sit on here and swing on his little swing. And he stays on the swing because I was starting to say he has these really hard wires. Oh, well, they were kind of warped when he arrived, so maybe they're actually pretty easy to use. So if you had him, you could stick him anywhere on his habitat. And so that's how you would go about playing with him. You could have him sit on the doll's arm. You could. I don't feel like doing it right now because I don't want to mess up her pose. I get so like crazed about how my dolls look. So yeah, what I was saying is you could just put him anywhere you want, or if you got this for a child, they could probably have it sit on their finger. And so it was a lot more novel than I realized when I had ordered it. Not only is it huge, but yes, I'm being a little silly here, but I guess, yeah, this would be about the size of it. What is this, a cockatoo? Is that what they're called? So I guess it would be about this size scaled down. And I just thought it was a lot of fun. And I do want to eventually get all their pets. And I do have a couple more to share in this little bonus and a little bonus clip at the end. So I should move things along. The next girl I spotlighted was Jenna. And not only do I have a couple new outfit pieces to show you, I have a new Jenna to show you. I have shown her, but I'm just saying as far as the spotlights go, this is going to be I've upgraded even the doll since then. So this is Jenna, and she's the new, she's the version they only did for a short period of time with dark green eyes. So I do need to bring her closer and show you that. But her, I guess I would call it her winter outfit, is still missing the snow pants. I didn't realize when I bought this jacket how much it was missing from her actual winter outfit. So it comes with, so now I have the nifty noggin, hat and mittens that you would buy in addition, and the boots that are, as I'll show you right up here, really, really beautiful and detailed. And they're very easy to go on. They look like, when I first saw them, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a monster to get on her. But it's not. It was really easy. And she's wearing clothes from, there are Jenna pieces, but it's nothing to do with her winter outfit. I just thought it suited really well. And look at that. Just in case you didn't see when I unboxed this doll, she looks so much better to me with the dark green eyes, because my Jenna, my first Jenna, I actually eye swapped, gave her brown eyes, and I was like, oh, this isn't Jenna anymore. She doesn't have green eyes. So now I feel like I have the real Jenna. And these are called snow drifters. I don't think I said that yet, but they're, like I said, really great. No, you know what? To be honest, I don't think I need the snow pants to go with this. I feel like this is complete enough, because the snow pants probably wouldn't look as cute as the jeans do anyway. And that's not me being like Fox on the Graves. That's me saying I really do like how she looks this way. And then the last additional piece, it's an outfit and then shoes that I got for Jenna, is her Free to Be Me outfit. And I think the shoes, this is how they're paired. The outfit was paired with these shoes in the stock photos. So I do think they're kind of intended for it, or they're a good match. I think they're called Superstar shoes, and they actually, because of the stars, probably look a little American girly, even though they're, I wanted to show you them this way, but I normally would stuff a little tissue paper in there. Can you see that kind of caves in at the toe? Because her feet aren't long enough. So if you're wondering what the pieces are, it comes with these gray tights, and these are tight. Like, I never struggled so much to get a pair of tights on American Girl before. And then the blue long sleeve shirt underneath, and then this green and blue tunic, and then the bright yellow Maplelea logo right there, which I don't have too many pieces with that particular label. This and Charlsea's pajamas, which are right here. So they have the same label. So maybe they just did it for a short period of time, or they were just one-offs when they did it. And one last little piece that I also got from Jenna's collection that ties back into Charlsea, because I mean, I've kept her here because it's still her video, but this is very Charlsea-ish, and it's Jenna's life jacket, which is, Charlsea doesn't have an official life jacket, which is too bad she doesn't, because it would probably be this detailed if she did. And so I'm just going to throw it on over this. Why not? I haven't even tried it on anyone yet, so it'll be my first time seeing it. But the life jacket that I showed you is also not Charlsea's, is just a lot simpler. So this is, fully padded at all the pieces I'm showing you. So at the top, the back, the chest, all around the neck piece. And so this is actually a really cool life jacket. It's branded with an M, so I think Charlsea could use it if she really needed to, but she doesn't need to because she's already got two other ones. And I wasn't sure. Jenna does have a bathing suit that I don't have. I'm not going to chase down all the bathing suits, because I'm picky about the bathing suits that I put on my dolls, just because, it comes down to how much it shows of the body and what I can dress it with to make it look less cloth body revealing. But I guess if any doll wore this, nothing's getting revealed. This looks like the plane's about to crash or something. Anyway, it's really cute, and I'm glad that I have it. And now I can move on to Brienne's pieces. Yeah, I think that's enough. You get the point, right? The first Brienne outfit comes with so many pieces, I had to choose two dolls to model it. Well, two dolls are currently wearing the pieces of it. This doll is wearing a more complete version. So this is called Des Dauphin. And I don't know if it's pronounced, because it turns out Dauphin is a place in Manitoba where Brienne's from. And I don't know if they pronounce it the way I am doing it, because it's French for dolphin. So I don't know, maybe they call it Des Dauphin. I don't know how they would say it, but so I'm saying it wrong, and I'm not from there. It's just because it's a word we learned in school. So that's my excuse if I'm wrong. Now, to me, this is such a Hannah Montana outfit. A lot of the older Maplelea outfits are very Disney Channel back in the day, because, that's the doll started in 2003. So there's bound to be a little bit of crossover in style there. And I don't know if I put it together in a crazy, crazy way. Oh, I should show you the other pieces too. So it's not everything that she's wearing. It also came with this shirt and this skirt. And everything else, sorry, it didn't come with the hair clips or the glasses. So it came with two shirts, two skirts, a pair of pants or tights, these metallic shoes. I'll bring everything closer to show you, because I really do. I guess I like metallic shoes. And this cardigan. And it also came with it looks like a headband that's got a pink ribbon, a fuchsia ribbon on it. But this didn't have it. This is the most complete version I've ever seen for sale on the secondary market. So I just pounced. I was excited to have as many of the pieces as I do. And if I really needed that, the pink hairband, it looks like a smaller version of what Courtney has in her collection. So I could always do that if I really need to. So now let me show it up close, because it's got a lot of cute pieces. These are shoes I probably wouldn't love on American Girl, just because you know, you would see too much of the foot, and they're metallic. So I just feel like they could get warped and then crease, and I wouldn't be happy. I would hate it. And so there are flowers along the bottom of the tights. And I think it was back in the early 2000s, right, when girls would wear pants under skirts. So I think it is meant to be worn with, you know, choose your skirt, your overskirt. And the shirt that, so one of the shirts, this is like a lacy shirt. I don't know if it's picking up all the detail because there's so much to see. There we go. Okay, that does look okay. And this has like a short sleeve on it. So you don't have to wear it with the cardigan. However, I like the cardigan. I like all the wackiness of all the different colors of the, you know, early 2000s Disney Channel. And then because of all the colors, it suits the glasses she's wearing. It's perfect match, almost as if they're supposed to go with it. And then the hair barrettes that she's got in are from the same hair accessory playset that I mentioned when I showed the other custom doll. I don't know if I made it clear, and I don't even know if I told you. So this doll is named, sorry, the other doll's name is Camille, and this doll's name is Callie. And I fought Camille to have a different name that didn't start with a C, but as hard as I tried, her name is Camille. And then, so the pieces here that I could show is, I think this is, yeah, this is more of a tank top that goes underneath, and those are flowers in circles. And then this skirt, which looks, I don't know, it feels really, it almost feels like suede, but it's such a soft cotton that it feels like that. It's not suede at all, but it's so soft to the touch. And then she's got other brand pieces on. This is from an meat accessory set, and just another pair of shoes. They don't go with the other outfit at all, but I'm not going to set her up here in just a skirt and a shirt with no shoes or anything like that. And there's one more outfit, but there's not enough room in here right now, so let me get that outfit now. The girls used to come with a fancy dress. It used to be part of their collection. I don't know if My Cup of Tea is considered Charlsie's fancy dress, but they used to be a lot fancier. You'll see when I show you Brienne's ribbons and lace outfit. So it's this dress. It's so cute. I have it on a custom doll also, Maplelea, and it's supposed to come with another headband that has like a pink ribbon on it. It was missing that, so I just used, this doll already had the ponytail holders in her hair, so it was enough of a match that I left it on. And I got the shoes that come with it, but they're peeling a little bit because it's such an old dress. It's probably from the launch back in 2003. I can't say this is one of the original runs of the dress, but it is old and it's been retired for quite a while. And I just used tights these are tights, right? Pantyhose. I don't know. There's so many things that I don't wear that I can't keep them all locked in my brain. So I found a pair that remind me of what they look like, at least on the stock photos. And like I said, it's really old, so you can see some signs of aging. Let me bring it close, and then I'll point out not just the peeling of the shoes, but you see they're really cute with the little bow detail there and the Velcro. You know already by now that their feet are different, but I didn't have too much trouble. The Velcro doesn't go up all the way, but it looks fine. And so the thing, it's like a lace overlay on a pink satiny material underneath here. And if you look at the lace around the neck, it has yellowed with age. It doesn't bother me. It just makes it look more like an antique outfit, because at this point it kind of is. And then there are some little snags and stuff inside the material, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't distract from how cute it is on display. And so I love this outfit, and it's so pink. And so it's I just every once in a while like to say I do like pink, because I complain about it a lot, but when I find something I like, it doesn't bother me that it's pink. I just have to mea culpa, you know what I mean? Or like apologize. Do I need to say anything else about this? Like, I'm trying to keep it on screen as long as possible because it's so cute, and she's such a cute little model for it. No, I think that's it. So let me move on to Taran. Sila. Sila's next. Now, I've already shown Sila's additional pieces in another video, but it wasn't a spotlight video. So treating this like you're only watching the spotlight videos gives me a reason to show Sila's amouti. But it's also because I was really disappointed when I did her spotlight that I didn't have it, and I was really excited when I got it. And I can't guarantee that you would have watched the video that this was in, so it just feels fitting. I have it displayed currently on a custom who is made from a Kaya doll. His name's Pedro. He's not, you can't see, but he has his hair short, so that's what made him different. And I had no problems getting it on either doll, because I did show it on both when I first shared this amouti. And so I could show you up close just the details. Oh, and he's got one of Sila's puppies, which they're re-releasing the puppy and the husky soon. I think they're coming out sometime this month, actually. It's December now, yeah. So that means I also have the husky, the mom husky that goes with the puppy. And to anyone who, again, didn't see the video, it's got the same plastic skeleton that the bigger animals like the calf and the pony have. So it's a really detailed pet, and I'm wondering, so now I can't wait to see, because I'm going to get the new set when it comes out to make them be an entire family. And like I said, I already showed it, so I don't think I need to dwell too much, but I did also get a pair of Sila's shoes, which are really cute, and I just really did think I'd be able to track them down. You know what? I don't think these are actually part of her collection, but they were always shown on stock photos of her outfits, so I guess I assumed they were hers. Anyway, this is going to happen again later, but with my knowing ahead of time. So anyway, these are the shoes I was talking about. I can't even look up what they're called, but they're rainbowy, glittery shoes, just slip-ons that I already mentioned, are shown with so many of Sila's outfits in her wiki page that I had retconned these as hers in my head. You know what? I'm just going to put them on Maplelea, bring her back out so you can see her cute little outfit one more time to see how they fit, because I haven't shown them on anyone. I haven't tried them on anyone is what I meant to say, because it was winter when I got them and it just wasn't the time. So let's see how these fit over stockings. That is so funny. Now I have to figure out what these are called. What a bad video. Maybe I'll look it up and come back before the end of the video and show you. But anyway, they're so cute. And if they fit an American Girl, you know they're going to fit a Maplelea doll even better. And like I said, I had trouble finding them, so it's not like I'm showing you anything useful by talking about these shoes. But now I've shown them to you, so let me move on to Taran's new pieces. Sort of Taran's new pieces. I already mentioned that I'm on a soft mission to get the girls' pets, or any of the animals really, because I do like having animals around my collection with all the various dolls I have. And I wasn't expecting to be able to find Taran's dog, Boulder, because he's he's elusive. I find people are the prices are usually really high when people are selling Boulder on the secondary market. And he's so much bigger than I expected, as you could probably see by him next to me. I thought that Sila's Husky would have been the biggest dog, but nope. Boulder not dwarfs him, but he's quite a bit bigger. He's almost the size of a small dog. You know, like if I've held little like Lhasa Apso and Shih Tzus in my hands, and he doesn't feel much smaller. A little bit softer. The one that there've been a couple, I would say, released so far, because mine has the mouth that's just like a flap of plush. I don't know if you can see it from there. And usually I've seen ones that are the black thread that goes down, you know, like a lot of old stuffed animals used to have. And he does have eyeballs under here. They're just kind of buried in all the blackness of his fur. And he's really detailed. He comes with his harness that has his name all over it. I don't know if it's focusing in on it at all, but it's there. And he's got some beans in his stomach, which I think helps keep him centered, because he doesn't have any wiring or plastic skeleton through his body like some of the other bigger animals. He probably could have, because he's so big. But so far I haven't had any trouble displaying him, having him standing or making him sit. So he's a really cute plush. I haven't had him for very long. And like I said, I wasn't expecting to get him anytime soon, because I don't think that Maplelea, if they plan to bring him back, they're probably having a lot of trouble, because they've mentioned having trouble having their animals manufactured, I guess because they want them to be more realistic, as you can see by this Bernese mountain dog, who is, okay, I was like, he's making a liar out of me. He's not going to stand up. And then this last outfit I'm going to show, it's not actually Taran's. I bought it thinking it was, because she's always shown, it's a figure skating outfit. It's called Icy Cool Skating Outfit. And it's always shown with her, so I thought it was one of hers, but it is really nice. And look, more metallic footwear. I just realized that now. I mean, I know that's what I liked about it, but I didn't realize I showed so much metallic footwear in this video. And but it's really cool. It looks great on Elsa. She's been wearing it since I got it, so she's the only one who's going to show it to you now. And so I hope that, I want you to be able to see the skates, because they are really cool. Icy cool, you might say. And it comes with these tights and a sparkly dress with some rhinestones and this, what do you call that, a scrunchie, matching scrunchie. And because she's got the blue medallions in her hair, the blue Swarovski, it just looks like it was made for Elsa, because I have her in my figure skating scene with a few other dolls that are ice skating, but they're all bundled up to protect them from the cold. Obviously, though, Elsa doesn't need to be protected from the cold, because the cold never bothered her anyway. And I know that's corny, but that's how I see it. I see that she wouldn't need to bundle up like other characters skating, and she does skate in the movie, so I still think it's fitting. I'm not just saying all this to really justify the fact that I have only shown the last few outfits on only one doll rather than both body types. The true irony, though, of showing you all these other, like all these updated outfits, new pieces I've I've acquired since doing the spotlights, is I wanted to do it here because the video was going to be short, you know, because Charlsea, I only have 8 outfits for Charlsea. But now I bet you this is going to be one of the longest spotlights, aside from Leonie's, because hers was just, I was still figuring out how to do that back then. But now, like I said, it's going to be a long video because of all the additional bonus content, let's call it. So hopefully some of you liked seeing not just Charlsie's smallish, her modest collection, because she's newer, she's the newest girl, but also liked seeing some other outfits that I have since been able to put inside my Maplelea storage boxes, because I have quite a few of those stacked up in my closet now. And I don't know if one day I'll be able to think of a reason to show you all my any doll collection, because if I've told you I have 11 boxes, that means at least 3 of them are any doll collection boxes. So I have a lot of that too. Whatever the case may be, thank you for hanging out with me in this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon in the next one.